Student debt is crushing an entire generation of Americans, preventing them from getting married, having children, becoming fully adult. No one's done anything about it, shamefully. So now, because of that negligence, we're going to get a plan written by lobbyists for the people who caused the problem in the first place that won't fix the problem. Joe Biden has already backed a plan to use taxpayer money to pay off the first 10 grand in student debt. Now the left of his party is pushing him to go much farther than that. What they're not trying to do, and this tells you everything, they're not trying to get universities, the beneficiaries of this scam, to pay back any of the loan money they have taken for their worthless degrees. Why aren't they pushing for that? Nicholas Giordano is a political science professor and host of the P.A.S. Report podcast. We're happy to have him on tonight. Professor, thanks for coming on. So you're in the middle of it. You work at a university.
Thanks for having me, Tucker.
The obvious question is, universities take this money, it's backed by taxpayers, it's all upside for them. Why shouldn't they have some skin in this game as we try and fix it?
Well, they certainly should, because it's about accountability. And as you rightly pointed out, that if this goes through, it's nothing more than a bailout for the universities and the politicians that created this problem. When the government came in and took over the student loan industry and guaranteed student loans, universities jacked up tuition at a faster rate than inflation, wage growth, and every other sector that exists. They've also encouraged students to take out more money than necessary to buy textbooks, to have living expenses. And then you have a bunch of degree programs that aren't really for jobs. They're degree programs that may be interesting, maybe students like them, but they're not going to help you get a job. And there's nothing worse than going into debt and then not being able to find a job and having to work as a customer service representative at a department store. And listen, I get it, because I'm still paying off my student loans. I had to pay for college myself, and I'm still paying them off. And it's time that we hold universities accountable. First of all, for every parent and student out there, you should send your kid to community college for the first 2 years, because you'll save yourself tens of thousands of dollars. And I'm not just saying that because I teach at a community college, but the universities themselves, how's about we pool their endowments that they have, the billions of dollars in endowments, and since they made a promise to students that the student will get a career and they're going to be successful if they go to this college, well, then maybe they should have stake in the game, and maybe they should be paying part of those student loans. If we base the actual student loan on whether or not a child is successful once they graduate college, I could guarantee you that the universities will be far more responsible in what degrees they're offering, what courses they're offering, and how they're mentoring students to be able to go into a workforce and actually produce within society.
We should seize the endowments. As long as we're having a revolution and screwing taxpayers yet again for the cost of pointless degrees, why do we have endowments? I mean, Harvard's endowment's bigger than GDP, I think, of any country in Africa other than South Africa. Like, why is that off the table?
And it shouldn't be off the table. But once again, these academic institutions protect the politicians, and the politicians protect the academic institutions. And if you look, it's always a revolving door within the administration.
That is so true. That is, Professor, thank you for coming on tonight with a firsthand account of that.
Thank you for having me.